You know, people are questioning whether or not having a trade deficit is just sort of the way of the world when you're growing. I mean, what's more important, economic growth or a trade deficit or having a trade surplus? If you have a trade deficit and that's impacting growth, does the trade deficit become less important?
Maria, I think they're different issues. So again, if you go back to the president believes in free trade more than anybody else. And when he talks about free trade, he wants reciprocal and fair trade. So where we have issues, and a big reason why we have trade deficits, is because we don't have reciprocal trade. So again, we want our markets to be the same with China as their markets. And the president, China is obviously our largest portion of the trade deficit, and the president is very focused on making sure American companies are treated fairly. That's what this is all about. Free trade will lead to smaller trade deficits.
Secretary, let me ask you about the retaliatory issue here, because a lot of people are worried about the Europeans instituting a 25% tariff on U.S. exports. Is that happening?
Again, I haven't had any direct discussions with my European counterparts, so I can't comment on that. As I said, I have conversations with Canada where we do have good two-way trade of steel. That's something that we've talked about. And again, we're cautiously optimistic on NAFTA. That's a big focus of Ambassador Lighthizer, and he's doing a great job in those negotiations.
But would you expect the president to ease up on this should we see a 25% tariff coming out of Europe? This is the report right now. You saw the story that the Europeans are threatening that they're going to put a 25% tariff on U.S. goods if the president goes through with this.
Maria, look, we're negotiating deals. And again, we have to stand up for American companies and American workers. And we're going to do that in a way that's prudent and good for the economy. That's what we're focused on, Maria. And I think you should look at this administration has already delivered on substantial economic items. People said we'd never get tax reform done. Took 30 years. We got tax reform done. So we're now focused on trade deals. And I'm confident the president's a great negotiator. And I'm confident that we're going to end up with deals that are better for American companies and American workers.
Well, I'm glad you said it that way. This is a negotiation because we've got a couple of weeks here. The deadlines in terms of instituting these things aren't until April. Do you think the president is, in fact, this is just a negotiating tactic? Maybe he's not going to end up with a 25% tariff on steel and 10% on aluminum?
No, we are definitely going to end up with these tariffs, and we're going to roll this out very, very quickly. But again, there will be a mechanism where, to the extent that the president wants to give waivers, the president can do that. But again, we are moving forward with these tariffs, and that's the plan.
Even though there's this concern over a trade war, the Wall Street Journal the other day called it the biggest mistake of the president's presidency in terms of his economic plans. Companies are trying to urge you to change this because this could lead to a trade war. I mean, what do you have to say to those companies that feel that this is going in the wrong direction, creating a protectionist view of America?
Maria, I have a lot of respect for the Wall Street Journal, but I don't always agree with every single one of their editorials. And again, what I just say here is the president understands the economy. He understands business. He's literally met with thousands of business leaders since he's been here and on the campaign, and he's very focused. But again, he is looking out for American companies and American workers with trade deals that are just not fair. And he's not afraid to get into a trade war, although that's not what we want. Let's be very clear. We're not looking into getting into trade wars. We're just looking for free and fair and reciprocal trade.
Where are the other holes in terms of fair and reciprocal trade? What can we expect in terms of other tariffs away from aluminum and steel? Is that on the table? Other tariffs on other products?
Well, Maria, you know, our focus right now, as we've talked about, is this 232, okay? We're also in very direct discussions with China about trade there. As you know, we're very focused on NAFTA, okay? The president is focused on Chorus. These are the trade priorities at the moment, and we're working very closely. Ambassador Lighthizer, myself, Secretary Ross, the whole team is working very closely together on executing the president's strategy.